all of the weaknesses in our current maximum extraction system with shareholder primacy. It's just, you cannot take and take and take and then expect to be able to weather a storm, because there's nothing in the kitty to get you through the tough times.
I want to chime in right on that note, Tim, if I can, because I couldn't agree more. I think you're right about MEC trying to be everything to everyone with a growth mindset. And unfortunately, that was its demise, I think. And it does not have to be the demise of the cooperative as a whole. And I think that's just competitively such a shame to see the co-op sector miss this opportunity in terms of restructuring itself or reshaping its identity to serve members for another few generations. I agree that we strayed in trying to be too competitive, and that when you have a co-op that grows and grows to the size that MEC did, um, and the management obviously wants a board of directors that can support them. And I think that the recruitment process and the governance model at MEC changed. And it was certainly with good intentions to bring in people with a lot of business and corporate experience in the competitive side of things to help MEC strategically. But ultimately, trying to keep up is what caused this problem. When there was nothing wrong with MEC serving the members it had and focusing on what mattered to the members. And I think just missing this whole opportunity to tap into the fact that the member owners have built up equity in the business through purchasing shares, but also through their dollars and their buying power. Um, and they have the solutions in combination with the staff there. And so it just seemed like a real shame, that this co-op that got started in the 70s out of nowhere just hit the headlines and said, like, yeah, we're selling out.
Well,
Yeah.
and definitely, I think the focus was on more retail square footage. And I'll tell you a little anecdote. So during COVID, I decided to buy some new mountain biking shoes. Of course, there's no stores open. So I went to MEC online and ordered like 10 different pairs of shoes, which probably many people do, which I know it sucks for MEC, but hey, I want a pair of shoes that fit me when I'm dropping $250 on a pair of shoes. So I found a pair of shoes that came in this big giant box, ones that I kept, and I returned everything else. And about 6 weeks later, I phoned into the warehouse and had a fantastic chat with a fellow there. And he said that he had, because I was saying, how come you haven't processed my return? And he said, I have over 7 million packages that I need to process as returns. And at that point, I thought, wow, maybe they should have invested in a smarter warehousing system and less retail square footage. Myself, I live 300 kilometers away from my MEC store. I don't like going into the MEC store. I hate looking for parking at the MEC store. I hate looking for a sales clerk at the MEC store. I just buy online. It's not that difficult. They've got great sizing things, on the web page, how to size everything. They even tell you how to size a pair of gloves or a toque. So I just think totally the focus was on the wrong area, the prestige of having all these stores and being on a board. I'm going to slam the board a bit, but being on the board of a big company like that has all this retail presence in this face without asking people like me, why is it that I am shopping at MEC? Because realistically, their prices aren't the cheapest. So it's not a price point kind of purchase. It's got to be about service and selection. So
Yeah, these are some key points. I want to just intervene slightly because I'm noticing when like sort of some of the lessons in the co-op sector that aren't learned, we could say on the macro level, because when I hear you talk about MEC going into too many different areas, you could say, and having too many different product lines, it makes me immediately think about Mondragon and how basically what they do is incubate a product line. And then once it grows to a certain size, it becomes its own entity. And of course, they also have way more democratic governance and a whole system of support. But Just touching on the sort of growth side of things, it seems like every issue does have a solution, which is interesting. And then on the governance side of things, some of the glaring issues had to do with elections, which are also solvable, but not necessarily with just the cancellation of the sale. So what do you think about that? Actually, we do need to close pretty soon. So maybe we could try for some quick wrap-up comments from each, just keeping it real tight. Lacey,
Go ahead, Lacey.
Oh, sure. I'm I'm not really sure what to say. I think we're at a crossroads. There's an opportunity here. A lot of people have said that maybe we just start a new co-op. Maybe we get like maybe this one is too far gone. Let's sell off the square footage, as you say. I think it's kind of a stark juxtaposition to think of like Mountain Equipment Co-op and the story of its roots, and then looking at like its big box store presence in urban communities that are so far from the real wilderness kind of thing. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the next little while. I think for me, it's important for me not to lose MEC because of course I have a bit of a brand affiliation to it, and I care about co-op member ownership. And I think maybe that's why I care so much about what's happening, is it's not so much the sale of a brand or a big box store, and the effects of COVID on the retail environment, and unfortunately what that may do to MEC employees. But I also care about the bigger picture of how can something that is member owned be sold without the consultation or involvement of the member ownership that has invested $190 million in equity, when the balance of the loan is far less than that. So it's an interesting case study in terms of business development, but I think it's also an interesting case study in governance in the co-op model and people's confidence in co-ops truly differentiating themselves beyond a marketing ploy in the future. And I'll leave it at that, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand, at least I think I understand legally how all of this is possible, but what I cannot accept is how morally this is possible. I mean, I've been a member, many, many years, decades, and I get at least 4 emails a week from MEC showing me all the stuff they have on sale, et cetera, et cetera. But I have never got an email from the board of directors saying, hey, look, we're in financial trouble. We see dark clouds on the horizon. Here's a little update. Here's some different strategies we've been considering. What do you think? I think this would have been a fantastic opportunity for them to have come up with several different possible solutions and have another election of board members and running on these different platforms as to what they thought the solution was. Could have created all kinds of member engagement, member education. I mean, I know I'm not like a co-op expert, but I do know a little bit about it. And when you have 5 million members, member engagement, of course, is going to be a problem. But also too, I did want to mention that, the system that MEC operates within, our entire economic system, and all of the, I'll just call it BS that we've been fed for 50 years about what people are, what they think, how they operate, and what's best for everybody. It's not true. So MEC could have seized this as an opportunity to say, look, we obviously can't operate within this system in the same way and be just like them, we need to be something else. And what is it that you would want to see?
Very fascinating. Yeah. Of course, the issue might be that they don't have democratic elections in the same way as many other cooperatives do, which makes it hard to tap into the great asset, which are the members and lifeblood, rather than seeing them as an issue, I think. But
if you're a co-op and you're not engaging your membership, then why are you even existing? That's the whole point, right?
mm-hmm.
Isn't that what a co-op's supposed to be?
I do believe so. I guess we should wrap it up here, though. This conversation's a little different than the other one we had. I appreciate both of you taking the time. I wanted to point out that Lacey Ches is, in fact, an independent actor also, despite having worked with different organizations in the past. And I'll just leave it at that. Unless there was another closing remark? I hope we get a chance to chat again, either on YouTube or in the campaigning. So best of luck to you both, and looking forward to chatting with you. And thank you again.
Thanks so much for reaching out, Benjamin. We'll talk to you later. And it was nice to meet you virtually, Lacey.
Yes, you too, Tim. We'll be in touch. Thanks both.
Take care.